For a lot of people, having a house or a home is just that, a home or a house. For me, a home or a house is just a little bit more. You see, there are critical things in life for human existence. Human beings exist in a very narrow band. In fact, the band, which is the normal band for human beings in terms of internal body temperature, is 3.4 degrees Celsius. This is the normal band, and 6.1 degrees Fahrenheit. So we exist in a very narrow band. And to have a house, to have a home, is to protect us from not only the outside elements, but to make sure that we are comfortable. And when the basic necessities are taken care of for a human being, this is when he can start to look at betterment of not only himself, but the betterment of the environment, the betterment of humanity, and betterment of many, many things that need to happen on the face of this earth. For a lot of people, it just becomes a simple thing of, oh yeah, I have a room, I have a place, I can just go and I can be and I can have my privacy. But you see, in a way, we are occupying two spaces. One is on this physical planet, on this physical earth, and then there is our inside too, our heart, our being. And both have to be taken care of. A lot of people get involved with having incredible houses, and that's fine. That's beautiful. Some people only have a little house, and that's beautiful too. That doesn't matter. What matters is, does it provide you with what you need? I would like to tell a story. There was a guy and he was very unhappy with his house. So he went to a wise man and he said, I have this house and it's okay, but it's so small, it's so tiny that every time I'm in that house, I just feel that there is no place to even walk and even go anywhere. So the wise man said to him, he says, well, do you have any animals in your home? He goes, yeah, outside I have a few goats. He said, bring them in, bring them into your house and keep them in your house and come and visit me in 2 or 3 days. So this guy thought that was really crazy, but he went and he got the goats from the outside and he moved them all on the inside. Now, things became even worse. So 3 or 4 days later, he's pretty upset. He goes over to the wise man and he's, just wondering in his head, is this guy really wise or not? So he goes to him, he says, well, the wise man asks, how is it? He goes, oh, it's terrible, Before there was at least a little bit of room to walk around. Now all that room is being occupied by goats. He said, well, do you have any other animals? And the guy goes, yeah, I have some ducks. He said, well, bring them in and come and see me in 3 or 4 days. So the guy's scratching his head going, is this wise man crazy? I don't have any room in my house. So he brings in the ducks as well and waits 3 or 4 days and goes to see the wise man. And things are really bad now. And the wise man asks him, so how is it? He says, oh, it's much worse than before. There was a little bit of room left after the goats, and now that's being occupied by the ducks. And so the wise man said, well, do you have any more animals? He goes, yeah, I've got 3 or 4 cows. He says, well, bring them in too and come and see me in 3 or 4 days. So the guy brings all the cows in and he's just like, I hope this wise man knows what he's talking about because things are getting pretty bad. 3 or 4 days later, it is so bad and he's so angry. And he goes over to the wise man and says, you don't know what you're talking about. It's been horrible and you don't know what it's like and it's smelly and wherever I go there's goats and ducks and cows and there's no space in my house. And the wise man said, okay, now take all the goats out, take all the ducks out, take all the cows out and come and see me. See how it is. So the guy went home and he Took out all the goats, he took out all the ducks, and he took out all the cows. And he went next day to see the wise man. And he was so elated, so happy, because, oh, I have heaven in my house now. There's so much space. It's so beautiful. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And this story reminds me of what happens to us, not only on the outside, but also on the inside. Because we end up accumulating all this junk, all these ideas that contaminate not only what is inside, but starts to contaminate it, get contaminated on the outside. And here we are. Look at our environment. Look at the way we live. People are packed. We buy cars so we can go from one place to the other place quickly. But instead, most of us find ourselves trapped in traffic jams. We build roads, we build this, we build that. And the net result of all of that happens to be that none of those things that we created all this technology for are actually satisfying us. The inner peace is in every single human being, but it has to have the avenues of expression. First of all, we have to become human. We have to understand we're not a machine. We're not a machine. Would a little toy car mind being stuck in a traffic jam? Would a car mind being stuck in a traffic jam? No. But as human beings, we do. So much of our environment, which is supposed to bring us joy, which is supposed to bring us peace, which is supposed to bring us a relief, brings us nothing but frustration. We become frustrated with each other. Look at how many incidences happen of road rage. This is no way to live, where we're getting upset over little things. This is the syndrome that would be very, very close to what happens when too many rats live in a very small, confined space. You're a human being. You need to live with dignity. I'm not talking about should you have a 10-story house, 30-room mansion. No, wherever you live, wherever you are, you need to live with dignity. You need to live with peace, and you need to have prosperity in your life. When these things are missing, then what is it filled with? What is the vacuum filled with immediately? It is filled with greed, it is filled with anger, it is filled with fear. Is this right? Is this correct? I don't think so. I mean, this is a personal opinion, but I think a lot of people would agree with me that something is fundamentally wrong. Our well-being begins not only from our outer environment, but also from our inner environment. And both need to be balanced. That's just how we are. This is how a human being is. We need to be in that balance. And as I talked earlier about the temperature band, which is very narrow, the balance tolerance for our existence is also very narrow. Otherwise, the symptoms of it are, well, they are all around us, the symptoms, which we don't like. And everybody is trying to work on making it better and this and that. But really, do you think it will be better? The only way it can be better is if the fundamental balance is struck. Without that balance, it doesn't matter what we do on the outside, it is not going to ultimately make the impact. Now, do you need peace first and then everything will change? Or should everything change first and then there will be peace? Well, the answer to that is very interesting. Because even though you need the balance on the outside and you need the balance on the inside, both have to be catered to independently. One will help the other, but not completely establish it. What has to happen on the outside has to happen on the outside because we want it to happen on the outside, because we have the wisdom to make our environments good, because we want to be living in a sustainable environment where we help the planet Earth that we live on. This is our planet. This is our planet. This is our planet. We were geared, we were made, we were manufactured for this planet. We evolved on this planet. This is it. This is ours. And how can we be living in this planet and making it a junkyard? And then when you talk about what is on the inside is this incredible potential. As is on the outside, inside too is an incredible potential to feel the peace, to be in peace, to be in that joy, and to prosper. Because, peace on the outside, peace on the inside, next thing you know, there's prosperity. Because people are not stealing from each other. People are not degrading each other. People are not walking on top of each other's head. But they're actually trying to help each other achieve something beautiful. A lot of people will say that's too idealistic. Well, now let's see, that's too idealistic. Do we have a choice? Do we have a choice? And I don't think we have a choice in this matter. Either we can sit there and express how impossible it is, or take that energy and use it to make this possible. It's up to us. I hope you choose to make it possible, because you too play a part in that.